Worked for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife. I thank my Lord above to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the man who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up to you and defend us still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. To the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, Detroit down to Houston, New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say, and I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the man who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend us still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the man who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend us till today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
You may be seated. 10 years ago, all of our lives were changed. In many ways, it still seems like yesterday. From those events of 9/11, we learned some things, some important things. We learned that what you believe to be true about God matters. That wrong thoughts, bad thoughts, wrongful teachings and beliefs about God have devastating consequences. We've learned that if you believe that your God commands you to take the lives of other people, then a lot of people are going to die in the name of God. We also learned some other amazing things about God. We've learned that God is there, that He can be trusted, that you can run into His arms anytime. We also learned some things about ourselves, some things that maybe weren't comfortable. We learned that it's real easy to fall back into our old patterns, to be self-sufficient rather than God-dependent. We also learned that humanity is capable of unspeakable acts of evil. And at the same time, in the midst of all that tragedy, we learned that human beings are capable of incredible acts of courage and tremendous acts of sacrifice. We saw in that moment both the worst and the best of humanity. So today we think that it's right to remember. Remember those who died. Remember those who are right now today giving their lives, putting it in harm's way. Those who have died in the last 10 years protecting, guarding our freedoms. In addition to the U.S. flag that you see before you, the two flags on either side, the stripes of those flags are printed with the names, the one to my right, your left, is printed with the names of all of those who died on September the 11th. Like my left to your right, the stripes are printed with the names of all of the emergency personnel that responded. When everyone else was running away, they ran in and lost their lives. We believe that it's important to remember, to never forget, to remember those lessons we learned about God, to remember those lessons that we learned about ourselves, and to seek and to pray that this truly would be one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. As we remember those events, would you turn your attention to the screens as we remember 9/11, 2001.
10 years ago was a different time. The economy was booming, 401ks were solid, and if asked, 8 out of 10 Americans wouldn't be able to define the word jihad. On that day, 10 years ago, something happened that changed everything. 10 years ago was a Tuesday. For most of us, our only connection to the events of that day was what we saw on television. However, we are all connected and that we all have a place. For some of us, it's a spot on the highway. For others, it's in an office or at coffee with a friend. It's the place we will never forget. The place where we watched it happen 10 years ago. So here we are, 10 years later, still hurt, still angry, still trying to understand why. 1 Corinthians 13 explains that we don't see things clearly right now. In essence, we just won't be able to understand in this lifetime things like what happened 10 years ago. However, it goes on to say that one day we will see all things clearly. But until that day comes, we have 3 things to embrace to help us in our reconciliation: faith in God, unswerving hope, and love. And the greatest of the 3 is love. Through the shock and the horror, something else happened 10 years ago. Although the evil intentions appeared to be a success, our country embraced the complete opposite of what was intended. Instead of division, there was unity. Instead of confusion, there was clarity. And instead of falling apart, we banded together. But then again, that's the way one nation under God will always respond.